right?
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly.
And sometimes going on autopilot, going on autopilot is the one thing people normally do because, you know, you got jobs to do. People are relying on you, and you suppress that and you totally bury that, even lock it away somewhere for years, and then it becomes a blueprint. But it doesn't have to be that way all the time, right? It should not. It's actually not a very healthy thing, and you should have outlets by which you can.
It's really not.
Feel from that.
Yeah, and sometimes people need those outlets because sometimes, and they have to learn them. Sometimes they don't have outlets. Sometimes they get stuck in a place where depression will set in, and or their cellular memory is so much so that they're always feeling pain over and over. So then they start to seek these environments. They start to seek environments or events that would cause them to feel that same feeling because that's that cellular comfort zone. But when they're looking to change that and not have, if you're consciously aware of like what's going on with your body, like saying, oh my gosh, I find myself feeling this emotion a lot, and when I'm feeling happy and everything, I always find myself coming back to feeling this way. So it's a matter of having to really find and change that in a sense of your habits, and like creating new habits, finding new ways to have outlets, as you were speaking on, Mel.
You know, it's very important to feel all your feels. You should never suppress how you're feeling. I think one of the common things people do is that when they feel pain, they drown it out, or they eat their emotions, or they drink their emotions, or whatever the case may be, right? Or they look at their painful emotions as a weakness. That's something men do, especially.
And
when you
some
should
women
not.
do that
and
too.
some women do. You should not do that, because for your happiness as a joyful and strong feeling, your weakness and pain is equally a strong feeling. It's a part of your existence. You should never ever suppress that. Absolutely, you should explore it. Absolutely, you should, you know, understand why you're feeling that way and kind of get to the root of it. But you know, you shouldn't overanalyze it and live it over and over and over either.
Yeah, and sometimes I know that can be hard for some people when they say they don't really want to think about it. And what they don't understand is that, and there's this little thing for youth when I was a preschool teacher, but there's a little saying or a little chant or a little rhyme of some sort where it would say, you know, you're going on a bear hunt. You know, you ever do that? You're going on a bear hunt, and then, oh, here comes the tall grass. You can't go over it. You can't go under it. You can't go around it. You have to go through it.
Wow.
So then they go, and then here they are going through it, and then they make these sounds, and then like, okay, you're going on a bear hunt. So everybody's like, we're going on a bear hunt, and then they fall through. Oh, here comes a big mountain. Oh, you can't go over it. You can't go under it. You can't go around it. You have to go through it. So it's the same respect.
Wow.
That we have these issues, and it's like sometimes people want to go over it, they want to go under it, they want to go around it, they don't want to go through it because that means they have to face head on and look it point blank in the eye of what that was. And a lot of people don't want to face it because it's so harsh to have to relive it over and over enough to really like get through it.
It's true. Everything you learn that you need, you learn in kindergarten. All kidding aside, that's really a brilliant perspective.
Yes.
I mean, to teach that to little kids and just have that seed planted into them as a blueprint, right?
Yes.
We all go through blueprints, and some of our blueprints, everyone's blueprint has some sort of traumatic event, you know, or painful event, and it could be very subtle. It could be very kind of blatant, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, somebody says something, or there's a comparison that's made, you know, when you were little or somewhere in your teens or whatever, then boom, it's stuck.
Right.
Right? It's
Right.
totally stuck on you, right? And next thing you know, you're 30 or 40 years old, and all your actions and habits are because of that
thing.
because of that one little thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, so self-awareness is key as you start aging, if you will. But if you really want to live a healthy life, to me, you know, a balanced life, you have to have a connection of your physical, emotional, and mental existences. You can't just be always motivated, because when you're motivated, that's a mental thing. So you're sucking the life out of your brain for that, because you're motivated by a fear. You're motivated by something that you don't ever want to happen again because you saw it to someone, or maybe it happened to you, or it's something you want to attain. It's something you want to acquire. So at any cost, you're going to try to achieve said thing. You're motivated. Okay. Second is, if you're inspired and you're overly inspired and you're just leading with your heart all the time, but not thinking about it, you can just be in bliss all the time, or sadness, and you really aren't thinking clearly. Well, that's not in balance either, right?
No.
It's not. Or you could be a total exercise fanatic. And I don't care how hard you train or how brilliant you are at it and how awesome your body looks or how clean you eat or how structured you are with your diet. Because if your head and heart are in disarray, you're really nothing.
Yeah.
Okay? I know that sounds harsh, but whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it can be harsh, but it's the truth.
Yeah,
it's
the truth. So true.
Because you can be this super, like, dope person, like you're
dope.
Yeah, super dope person. Your physique is good.
Right.
You know, you're looking good.
If
you're
that's what makes you dope,
good,
right?
You're healthy, but then if you're all jacked up inside your mind and your heart,
I've seen some of them. I've known
what
some of
what
them.
is that really saying? Because you're just a shell. Then you're just a shell.
You want to be a person of depth and substance, right?
Yes, that's you're together, well put together outside, and you're well put together inside.
Because I got to tell you, not only can your life change in an instant where you're no longer that person physically, or eventually you won't look and feel that way as you get older. Yeah. Seriously. You're not always going to look.
And you've seen people.
Right. Yeah. You just age and deteriorate and digress and whatnot, and your metabolism slows down. And what do you got?
You've seen it.
Right.
Physically, yes.
Nothing. So that's why the pursuit of the balance of the three is really, really what's important.
Yeah.
You know. So, you work in a hospital, right?
I do work in a hospital. Yes.
Is this topic something that is inspired by that because you observe that to some of your patients, or what brought this on for you?
Just looking at society and how society and a lot of people around the world, not just where I work, but I find that sometimes I'll talk with somebody and then I haven't seen them for a while, then I'll come back and maybe see them again, and then they're kind of still in the same stuff, in the same feeling, but maybe with a different person, a different situation, similar.
So they haven't grown.
Possibly, yes.
Or they're attracting the same thing all the time, or they're
right. They haven't grown because they didn't see how possibly they could have contributed to causing or creating the same environment for themselves.
That is the lack and absence of just pumping the brakes and taking inventory of your life. Right, taking a bird's eye view and saying, okay, this happened to me,
right,
or this is the experience I got from this relationship, or this situation, or atmosphere or time I spent in. Do I want the same thing again? Right. You would hope that they would ask that. And there's an amazing thing I heard a couple of years ago that stuck with me that I couldn't even believe it when I heard it then. It still blows me away when I hear it now, which is some people are just comfortable in their own misery and they don't want to make a change.
What? Why would you want to be miserable?
Comfortable in their own misery. I'm comfortable in my own misery, so I'm going to consciously not make any changes, and that's okay with me. But I'll complain about said thing all the time, or this person in my life, and they're going to keep doing it and whatever, blah, 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 but I'm not willing to make any changes with it,
right?
Because I'm comfortable in my own misery. That is either a conscious or a subconscious approach. They're either consciously aware of that, or it's just ingrained in their emotional and mental DNA that they don't.
Which is that cellular memory that I was talking about.
There you go. I was wondering what that meant.
That's that cellular memory that I'm talking about.
Cellular memory. I'm going to shamelessly steal that.
Cellular memory, because what it is that the DNA may take some parts. And this is how it can become generational, because you have generations of people who feel that way. So then a portion of them replicates, and where it has kind of like a type of energy that resonates at that frequency, and it's taking that energy with it into the next. So you have fragments of this, but it can play itself forward, going forward in what it's creating. So when somebody constantly feeds it, it's kind of like an addict, okay? So like if a baby doesn't know that it's not supposed to have drugs, but yet the mother is putting drugs in her body, so the baby is now relying on drugs. So when the baby is born into this world, now they have this cellular memory in their body where it knows this element. And if it's introduced,
it wasn't their choice,
right? If it's introduced back into their life, somehow it's familiar to them and they don't know why.
Right. It's a coping mechanism. It's an existence.
But so in this aspect, it would not be the drug, it would be the ill feeling the bad energy, the ill, the negative energy.
There's a habit they're going to tie to that.
Yes,
and that
becomes the norm for them, and that feels comfortable. That's their comfort zone.
Right.
So getting back to a whole person, a non-broken person, somebody who can fully live their life and become that they could potentially be. They have to break out of a comfort zone that they don't know any other way.
Breaking the cycle is not an easy thing to do. At all. Right? None of us succeed alone. At all.
No.
Right?
No.
So you have to be lucky enough to surround yourself. And this, again, who you surround yourself is a total choice.
Yes,
right?
This is
Hopefully
true.
you're surrounding yourself with some people who are going to get real with you and say, look, you're really screwing up here. Or better yet, they're going to remove you from their lives because they don't tolerate your behavior or your habits, which is sometimes the best thing ever.
Yeah. Or they will be kind enough, and loving enough and by your side and supportive enough
no matter what,
to say, you know what, maybe this area and this element isn't working for you. I'm willing to go with you wherever we need to go to make sure that you can grow and be a better person. And if this environment isn't conducive to you, maybe someplace else is, and they're willing to go with you somewhere else. Granted, you're still going to find yourself, as my father would say, you meet yourself where you are, even when you get off the bus, no matter where you go. Deep. So meeting yourself where you are. So even if you were to get up and leave and you take some of the elements out of your environment, it's still up to you to really push through to shape and become that better person with the choices and or situations, because now you're dealing and having to handle something totally new.
When you say that about someone having the patience to stick it out with you, when I was younger, I used to manage health clubs early in my career. There's a girl named Lepa Galeb. Okay.
Shout out.
She is from Hungary? I don't know. She was from Czechoslovakian, I think. Anyway, she was we were young back then. I was in love with this girl. I mean, she's gorgeous, good looking, all that stuff. I was different time in my life. I was shallow, what can I say? But anyway, she said something very profound that I never ever forgot. And there's just some people in your life that say those things that stick with you. And she said, my father, I guess we were talking about friendships one day. And she said, my father said that you'd be lucky to have one true friend in your life. And I never forgot that.
Wow.
I never forgot that. Fast forward, 30 years later, I think the last time I saw her was 86, 87. Through the wonderful world of Facebook where you can pseudo-stalk someone. How do I find so-and-so, right?
Right. What are they doing?
I don't know. Just one day I heard a song and I go, oh, that reminds me of Lepa Galeb. Pulled her up on Facebook. You know what she is now?
What?
She is a phenomenal, internationally renowned jewelry designer.
Oh, nice.
She has her own line.
Nice.
God, I hope I don't butcher this.
Okay.
Masahari, I think.
Okay, Masahari.
I think so. I mean, we're talking
H-A-R-I?
We're talking big time.
Okay.
Okay. We're talking Paris, Milan. This is major.
L-E-I-P-A?
L-E-P-A.
Lepa.
G-A-L-E-B. Oh, God. We're actually going to do this.
Lepa Galeb.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's an amazingly talented person. And to see her grow and succeed at that level, I can't help but just be unbelievably proud to have been associated with her and to see what she's done. She is incredibly talented, and she does some pretty high level costume design or jewelry design. Yeah.
Jewelry.
Yeah, really just high retail stores, high designer kind of stuff. And she chronicles her travels and where she's at and all over Europe and whatnot, and just amazing. So, but what she said to me stuck with me a long time ago, which was her father said to her, "You'd be lucky to have one true friend," and also kind of leads me to
Can I comment on that really quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, where you were saying what Lepa Galeb and her dad giving her that you'll be lucky to have one true friend. I think that is such a phenomenal thing for any parent to tell their child, because that means to say, go for the gusto and do what you're going to do regardless of who's going to be by your side, because you'll be lucky to have
Right.
even one true friend anyways.
Right.
Because it's probably everybody wants something for you, or they're looking to, do something with you, or but it's not just to be your friend. Like, but in that same respect though, you do get to make a lot of good friends.
Well,
Living
it's
life.
over your lifetime, you're going to have a lot of close friends
Yes.
that serve a different purpose in a different time of your life, right? Reason, season, lifetime.
Right.
And then there's going to be some friends. Maybe you have some people in your life that stay with you for decades. I mean, I have a handful.
The childhood friend
I have a
type.
handful. The guys from high school, whatnot, and it's timeless, because when you run into each other, this, like you run into the homies or the girlfriends, and
Yep. Hey,
time doesn't
hi,
stop.
Ben.
It's the same, right?
Yes, exactly.
Which is pretty awesome. And
Yes.
then of that group, there's one. Even though there's a group of you that's tight, there's always one
Yeah.
that you're most comfortable and you're going to gravitate to
Yeah.
really talk
And you'll call
about,
them first every time when you want to get ready to go out.
things, right?
Yeah.
Right? They know your secrets. They know it all. They don't judge you. And that's probably the greatest gift that any friend can give you, is to not to judge you, right? Not
Yeah.
to judge you and just give it to you straight.
Yes.
Completely give it to you straight. And that's really, 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 really important, I think as you get older together as friends, or, and I'm not just talking people who aren't related to you. I mean, you can have cousins or sisters or brothers or relatives that become your closest friend. I mean, my mom and I have an amazing relationship. We have transcended into being great friends. She's 83. She's going to be 84 April 27th.
Nice.
And when my father died of liver cancer in '89, we spent a lot of time driving back and forth from Southern California to the Bay Area, where both sides of the family lived. And you get to know somebody when you're in the car with them 5-6 hours at a time,
Oh, yeah.
month after month.
Oh, yeah.
And we ended up really talking a lot about life. She's obviously watched me grow from, college student to college dropout. I didn't tell her that. Sorry, Mom. But, be an entrepreneur to engaged, married, fatherhood, divorce, the whole thing. And never did she ever criticize me for it. She never judged me for it. She always gave me her objective view. Always surprised me with such modern perspectives for someone who, devout Catholic.
Oh, yes.
And you would
okay.
think totally judgmental.
Right? Oh,
but
totally.
No, but
yes.
she would say things to me that I'd be like,
Wow.
really? It's almost like a green light. Like, oh,
What's something
I've always
that's
thought
resonated with
yeah,
you?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's my closest advisor.
Nice.
I can come to her, and whether or not, I think it's not so much that I want her to respond to anything. It's just that that you can freely be yourself and say whatever you got to say,
Right.
in a very safe space. That's such a gift, and I'd like to hope that everybody has that ability with someone in their lives.
I hope so too.
You know what I mean?
That's, yeah.
I mean,
And they try to create programs to help people with that too, because that's such an important thing for people to have in this world. As somebody who is such a great supporter, somebody who's by their
Right.
side, everybody needs that. They've created programs to try to help that with the big brother, big sister. People going out and having groups where people can get together,
Right.
meet up, things like that. But it's really tough to sift through a lot of people, especially
Well-
when they're like new, and it depends on how open and vulnerable you are to yourself and meeting new people.
It's another kind of barrier to that. The art of the conversation has died, or if not, it's dying quickly.
Yeah. Let me
I'm a
text
concrete
you.
conversation type
Let
of
me
person.
text
I
you.
don't care about, hey, let's go do lunch. No, I'd rather get a handwritten note from somebody,
Yes.
or a
I
phone call, or
love doing that. Yeah.
or sit down and have coffee and just really talk
And have
you know what I mean?
conversation. Yeah.
I want to talk about something with substance and depth. I don't want to talk about BS
The news or something that's on.
Well, even that could be of substance and depth if it affects you in some way, or if you have a perspective about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then it kind of still
You know?
takes away from really having that in depth when you're getting to know somebody one-on-one, because
Right.
now you're bringing in an outside element to keep a conversation going, whereas it doesn't touch upon yourself, even though it may have some tidbits because it's your opinion. However, that's really just opinions on outside
Right.
issues, not really what's going on about yourself and like what you're working on and how you're growing as a human being.
Right. Do you think that facing your fears to heal your deepest wounds has something to do with the ability to talk to someone else?
Possibly, and I don't know. I would have to see, because I take it to the Gohan zone. I'll pray about it. Sometimes talking with other people about it can be helpful. Journaling. So yeah.
If you're honest and open.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think so. It can, because you will have to be able to know how to convey that message.
It would be
what that
really
is,
challenging.
Of how you're truly feeling, because then
Right.
you have to acknowledge what it is.
You got to be real. Otherwise, what are you saying? You're
you
not
have
really
to acknowledge what that
yeah.
is. Oh,
you know,
man.
if you cannot
identify it and don't want to
if
face
you can't
it. Yeah.
look in the mirror,
Yeah, that's it.
right? That's your very first concrete conversation there. If you can't do that and be honest with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and not from a criticizing or judgmental point of view, just to acknowledge,
Right.
you know, just acknowledge everything about yourself and own all of who you are and understand that all that you feel about anything and everything with yourself and without is who you are. You know, there's no, you know,
Sugarcoating it.
yeah, I feel this way about that. No, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
You know, I only want to feel the positive stuff. Well, it doesn't work that way.
Right? You gotta go through. Yeah.
Hey, Mishka, how you doing?
Yeah, positive and negatives, both. I mean,
You got to acknowledge both. You can't.
yeah. Like me, for
you
example,
know.
as much as I'd love to be a supermodel, I'm just not 6 feet tall. Something as simple as that, you know, I'm acknowledging, okay, you know, I'm not that. Okay, so we'll just deal with that and then move on to what fits my life. You know, instead of like trying to seek something like that. It's just an example. I'm using it as just an example.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of things people, they lie to themselves. They believe the lie. They create the lie, they believe the lie, and then they try to live the lie.
From a vanity standpoint or from a trauma standpoint?
Both.
Right. Just had to clear that up. Yeah, there are, yeah, you know, absolutely.
Both. They don't want to
Absolutely.
face it, so they will live in the lie. And they will live that story. That will become their story. And until they really address and see it for what it is. And maybe they don't have a different perspective. So I think it would really help to have conversation with somebody
Sure.
who might be enlightened as to what can be opened to different perspectives and seeing, and helping them find within their own perspective how to relate it and to call it what it is.
Right. So here's another part to that. Okay, so you have your crew, right? You have tight circle, maybe one person, right? The other side of that is over time, as you grow, you know, through years and also through your maturation process, I believe there has to come a time where you no longer go to the sounding boards. Okay, you've got to be able to make decisions on your own. Okay.
This is true. Shannon
Right.
says hi, and
You know,
yes.
you got to be tough enough to make the tough decisions because you're tough enough for what unfolds. Seriously.
Well, you
Right.
would hope that they are.
Yeah. You know.
So, but if they're not tough, how do they get tough? You know, kind of thing.
face your fears to heal your deepest wounds.
Face your fears, guys.
Yeah, you have to.
What does that mean
How,
for
how
you?
do you? And how do you get strong?
That
You
means
got to
you're
be
gonna-
willing to go down.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to.
Got to be willing to go down, take the pain.
Absolutely.
You got to feel the hurt. You got to cry
All of
the
it.
tears. You got to get sick
Own
if it
it.
makes you sick.
Right.
Go through it. You can't go over it. You can't go into. You can't go around. You got to go through it. And you're gonna go through those emotions. You're gonna go feeling through
Yeah.
that sickness. You know, I feel sick to my stomach about it. I don't want to think it. I'm
Right.
sorry, lady. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, daughter. I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry, friend. That's what we're gonna go through, and I'm here to help you go through that
Right.
kind of thing.
Wow. You deal with that every day?
I do.
Really?
I do. It just naturally comes to me from people. But let's help you get through it. Now, how you feeling?
Wow.
Because sometimes people, it just hits them. You never know when it hits them. And it hits them at any moment. And sometimes you just happen to be that one that's there. And that's having that compassion for another human being.
Right.
To be able to say, man, this person's going through it and I recognize it and somebody needs to be there for him, so I'm going to do that. Even though they'll be a total stranger sometimes.
Well, connection's a connection, though. It doesn't matter. I
Yes.
mean, we all belong to the same human race, right?
Yes,
so you
absolutely.
can know somebody forever, or you can know somebody for 2 seconds.
Yes.
But if you connect, and you are the best person at that moment
Yeah.
to give that person what you have, and because they need what
need
you
it.
can give. You know, at the end of the day, it's not. You know, you have to decide sooner or later if you're trophy hunting or creating beauty and adding advancement to others.
Right.
You really
To
have to
society.
decide.
Yeah.
You have to decide, you know? I mean, sure, getting educated and all the degrees and all the awards and all that stuff, that's fine. It's awesome, but that has to be an after effect of the fact that you really care about what you do.
Yeah. I think about that a lot with psychologists.
Well, yeah, you got to be effective, you know, I just don't believe that being accomplished is as important as being effective.
Shannon Griffin says push.
Push. Yes, Shannon. We will.
Push. We will definitely do that.
Right.
And we encourage everybody else to do the same, right?
Right.
We hope that you guys go out and, you know, just working with us and knowing, you know, what we do and how we are, and be, you know, just becoming that solid group of people that just go out into the world, continue to advance not only yourselves but others to be capable citizens in society. And so Shannon's just saying push, and another way saying, you know, work through it.
Okay, so let's step this up a little bit, take it up a notch. All right, so we've kind of beaten that to death. Now, what do you do for yourself, for your mind, body, and soul? This is really, really important, okay? No, you don't have to, you know, be a CrossFit athlete. No, you don't have to be a yogini, 10th degree, you know, doing hot yoga. No, just get moving. It is so important to take care of that physical body. See how I added her on that? But my point exactly, in that you need to find something. There's two types of activity, physical activity. You have your active therapy and you have your passive therapy. Active therapy is going to be a lot of your force-generated motions, like running, working out with weights, calisthenics, PX90 or P90X or whatever. It
Insanity.
You know, Tai Bo.
Right.
If it works for you, do it. You got to do it. However, don't just do it because it's good for me.
Right. Do it because you love it.
No. It's very, very important that you look at your health as your wealth. And what do you do to accrue health? You invest in it so you have a high return on investment, right? The ROI. Well, how do you do that? You got to look at it from a gifting perspective. Instead of, I got to go work out, you should really look at your exercise program of your personal choice at whatever fitness level you're at that you can do consistently as a gift to your body. Because if you give it as a gift to your body, then it's coming from a place of love. When you do that, you're already starting the connection, the emotional connection you have with your body. So instead of making some form of physical movement, I'll use that term instead of exercise, because exercise can, and fitness, that could
deter somebody.
Everybody has a different attachment to that, but just physical movement.
And I want to call it physical movement, because that's how I do
level.
my thing.
Right.
When you call me, when you out me like that, but that is my thing, is a physical movement.
Yeah. If you walk, if you, I don't know.
So
whatever.
For example, I have a pull-up bar in my home, so I do some things here and there, but then just doing the workouts here and there with what you've given me. But you know, it's getting that movement going that you know aren't. You're at some point in your day or week, you're pushing yourself beyond what you normally do on a regular basis of just moving around the world. You
got to remind your body that it's strong.
Yes.
It's designed to be strong, not to be weak.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. If you adopt that perspective of, you know, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do some physical movement as a gift to my body, as an act of self-love. Oh my God. You know, then you can enjoy the feeling of the success that comes from that.
Yeah, and that's healthiness.
It shouldn't be daunting.
That's
it
unclogged arteries.
No.
Right. Your healthy benefits, unclogged arteries, you know, you're having good circulation.
So I don't care if it's, you know, the morning stretch with Joni Greggins. That used to be like this. When I was a kid, it was just Joni Greggins. I think her name was Joni Greggins. I lived in the Bay Area, and she'd be on at 7 in the morning. She'd be there with her Jane Fonda outfit on, and and you know, she'd do a few exercises, and then she'd be stretching. And I look back on it now, it's like,
that's it.
That's really slow. But however, a person who that fits is not saying that's it. They're saying yes, right?
Yes.
You want to associate some happiness or joy or something with it, a feeling of success. If you want to crave something, crave the feeling of success in something that you've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Either for yourself or for someone else. That is a brick that you want to lay every day to build a strong foundation on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right? In our jobs, okay, there's going to be some creativity to your job. If in a person in your position, I would have to say your ability to assess and your ability to be empathetic and your ability to make decisions. That's an art to you. You just said it. For some reason, they come to me. Okay? All right. that is how you connect the benefits of the success of exercise to you. Because if you are constantly draining and putting out and just absorbing all of this pain and stress and helping relieve others of theirs without investing back into you,
then that can't happen.
You're going to crash.
Totally. Yeah,
right?
that can't happen.
Right.
I have to find a way to replenish myself. And if that means I have to go away for a little bit to get my exercise and go for a sun walk, or I'm going to a park, or I'm going to a park that's out of town, or I'm going to the beach for a beach run, whatever that case is, it's replenishing myself. If I'm going for a hike,
nature is probably the best best place to do that.
Hands down.
It really is.
Hands down.
Right? Because they're so...
It cleanses your energy too.
Right. And you also kind of recognize that all your problems are really insignificant when you go out into the world, because it's so much bigger than you.
Yeah.
I remember standing on top of Half Dome, and I thought to myself, and I had to overcome a lot to hike Half Dome.
Oof.
The fear of falling,
oh, wow.
All of that. And you're talking about a 60-degree incline. It's 8,000 feet to get up there. It's 400 feet to go up.
Yes.
Hell, it took 5 hours just to get to the base of it.
Yeah.
It was a 10-hour day.
Oh, man.
And even, I remember Mount Talac in Tahoe, I climbed that once, and the person I was with didn't know that I had a fear of heights.
Oh, goodness.
Didn't tell the person.
Of course not.
So all I did was I focused
one
on
step
the
in
foot
front of you.
in front of me.
Yes.
I just watched the feet.
That is so true.
I didn't look around, and there were moments where my eyes wandered, and I looked down and go, oh my God, I'm going to die. And then we got to the top, and it was like, oh my God, I see Lake Tahoe and the other lake, and it's just massive. And, it was a 8-hour deal to do that. It was phenomenal, right?
Yes.
And when you stand there in front of God's creation and all, and how beautiful it is.
And you just know you're a part of it, and you're a part of God's creation.
Nothing matters, right?
Yeah.
It's all at that moment. I think you need to understand that you have a choice of either being an asset or a liability to the universe by by the energy that you put out. If you expect to receive great energy, oh, the law of attraction, blah blah blah. I'm not saying it's wrong. The secret is awesome, but it's just one part.
Yeah, it's only one
of
part.
The attraction. You got to have action to go with it. Along with the intention.
Totally.
You have to be.
Speak on that one. The intention. You have to have the intention, because you can't just think, okay, yes, I'm going to do this. Yes, this is what I want, and so I'm going to, keep asking the universe for it and put no action or energy or intended actions towards it. I mean, I don't know how you're going to manifest that.
You can't. I don't think there's any such thing. I mean, you may get lucky every once in a while. From a business perspective, I could prove it to you. All right? If you want to be successful in any business endeavor, you got to get rid of the word hope from your vocabulary.
Right. It's not hope.
And the word hope.
It is I am.
The word hope in business is like, that should be a very, very fat, long, last resort.
Right.
It is,
no hope.
I will provide. This is a service we do.
Yes.
I'm going to follow up. I'm going to do. It's all action driven.
Yep.
That is how the return on investment comes, because you're creating those opportunities by the quality of work you do. Right? Okay? So you can't just manifest it. You can't just open up an ice cream shop.
No.
And, okay, they're coming now. I open it. Okay, guys, I have the best ice cream in the world. Come and see and eat my ice cream. I mean, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
So, I don't know. That's just my take on it. I've been doing it for a long time, and I've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs. I've coached a lot of them, and I got to tell you, hope is not a marketing tool.
Right, and I actually was watching So I like to watch videos that are on YouTube, just for self-development growth. But one of the things that I had come across recently spoke just about that, saying you need to eliminate "I hope" from your vocabulary, and it is no longer "I hope." It is "I am this," or "I believe this," and this is, and so it's truly your belief, because when you speak your belief into existence, it is existing. Right. So you are, you believe that this is. It's not "I hope," because "I hope" just means you don't believe, or you don't. Well, you kind of don't have a faith in it.
When do we say "I hope"? When we say "I hope," it's because you know damn
when
well
you doubt. When there's a doubt,
you didn't do everything you were supposed to do.
When there's
so you
a
hope
doubt.
It turns out
right,
or it's completely out of your control, which still means
you didn't.
It's okay, and it is what it is. It's living with a relaxed confidence, right? You can't. Don't freak out over something that you can't control anyway. The
"I hope" part.
There are very few things in life where you want to apply hope to, right? Okay?
The unknown,
right? Maybe it's your health, maybe it's just you're at a crossroads in your life or whatever. But still, all of the actions that have led to that you've done on your own has a lot to do with that.
You got to put action towards it.
You got to put action towards it. You can't think your way to success. You can't feel your way through it.
So
you got to have actions that go with the feelings and the thoughts. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yes, actions and feelings and thoughts.
Yeah, they have to all be together.
That's the intention.
You cannot have toxic feelings.
Right.
You can't have a black heart and think, oh, I'm going to attract.
I'm going to have love.
You cannot think negatively. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, and you cannot treat your body poorly and expect that you're going to reverberate the vibrations, and everything from a cellular memory is vibration. It's been proven, right?
Yes.
Okay, scientifically. So if you treat your body poorly, then you're really going to attract poor things to you. You just are, right? Your body is a high-performance machine. There's no greater mechanism built on Earth, not even man-made.
Yeah, because man makes the...
Because our bodies are simply a self-adjusting and self-healing mechanism. Even when you're dying, it means the antibodies are trying to kill whatever's killing you. And it's just at the expense of your health, right?
Yeah.
Well,
so to speak.
I mean, the amount of germs, and you would know this from a medical profession, the amount of germs that we go through that we kill instantly because our bodies are strong enough.
Yes.
Hell, from birth, right?
Yes,
So as you age, it would behoove you, your favorite word, it would behoove you to take care of that body. You've only been given one, so take care of it.
Yes.
I get angry when I talk about that because
and it's so true, because there's some things that you can't get back, like your hearing. If you're not taking care of your hearing and you lose that, that's one thing that does not regenerate. There are a few things in your body that you don't get back, and so it's really important. As much as we say yes, we can try to revive ourselves, but once you let it go because you just didn't give it that care and concern, and it didn't matter, and it's part of your functioning self, and then by the time you've lost it, you're like, oh darn, what can I do to get this back? And you find out it's one thing you can't get back, so you lose your hearing. You're not going to get that back, and that's just an example. But for the most part, it's important what Mel is saying, that you have to consistently work at keeping yourself in your higher state of form, if you can possibly do that, and in growing in that, recognizing what it is that, if you're going through something that's bringing you down, maybe it's lowering your energy to even stay on top of like your exercise or your physical movements, whatnot. Then you're starting at that point. So, but you're looking at your heart, your body, mind, and soul. Body, mind, and soul, and having it work together. So when you guys are speaking really quickly, I just want to say that Monique Monjes says that we hit the nail on the head, and she agrees. And Joseph Velasco says, HEL, hell yeah.
Well, okay, I'll give you here's one final analogy on that. Why it's so important to keep your body strong. Okay, as we get older, our skeletal structure, bones, joints, white tissue matter, tendons, ligaments, they do not regenerate.
Right.
Okay, they only can absorb the tolerance level you put it under. Let me repeat that.
Yeah, cartilage, all that.
It only can absorb the tolerance by which you put it under, meaning that if you're consistently challenging it in a progressive way and keeping those muscles stronger, then they'll have the tolerance level to be strong as well, right? So I want you to imagine a wire hanger.
Okay.
Okay. Heavy fisherman's cable knit sweater.
Okay.
All intertwined, heavy, right? Soak it in a bucket of water.
Okay.
Get every fiber really soaked. Pull it out of the water. What happens to the wire hanger?
It bends.
Bends, right? The wire hanger is your skeletal structure.
Okay.
You know what the ends of the wire is? It's your shoulders.
Okay.
Okay. Now it bends forward. Okay.
And you'll see people like that.
The hook is your neck.
Okay.
All right. And then the imaginary spine down the middle is your entire spine. So now it gets compressed because the wet sweater represents atrophied and weak muscle tissue.
Okay.
All right. It's just your body just hanging there over time. If you're a person who works professionally in an office, ergonomically you're already like this.
Yep.
And that causes way more trauma repetitively over time from a very subtle position rather than somebody hammering up and down, moving their hip up and down, bending at the low back joint, right? Okay. So if you keep your muscles strong by doing some form of exercise, strength training, just pick something. I don't care. Just do it 3-4 days a week. As you get older, your bone tolerance and your joint tolerance will rise. Once you strain those joints and bones, that's it. It's over, right? The caveat to that is you also have to listen to those muscles and don't overuse them.
Well, say that again. You have to listen to those muscles.
You got to listen to those muscles,
A lot of
right?
people do not listen to their muscles.
I'm guilty of that. I'm training for this triathlon, and I'm doing minimum 2 things a day, 6 days a week, right? So if I'm swimming, I'm also doing yoga that day. If I'm running, I'm biking. If I'm weight training, I'm swimming. Whatever the case may be, right? And I've been at it now for a couple of months. Stepped it up a little bit harder because of that. And prior to the triathlon, I worked out real hard still, but nothing to this degree, right?
Okay.
And I'm really just kind of pounding on my body pretty hard for 53. Okay, so last Wednesday, it was a swim day for me. All right, it was a swim day for me. So yes, Natalie, having more sex does help.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's another.
All right, Natalie, how many calories can you burn in a sexual encounter?
Physical activity.
Huh?
Another physical great.
So anyway, so I decide it's my routine. I'm going to go swim.
Okay.
And I've been pretty sore, but I ignore it, because it's like,
I got to train.
I got to train, and it's on my calendar, and I'm growing 2 companies, and I got to do these things, and I'm flowing, man. I'm just like strong and all that stuff. But you're waking up every day a little bit more, and you're like, oh, man, it's sore. I simply go down on my floor to foam roll.
Okay.
Just a foam roll, right?
Okay.
And that's supposed to be a passive therapy. Just to kind of
roll with the ball,
roll
the foam.
sore muscles out. I get to my lower body, and my right hip flares up, and I get up, and it goes. And I'm like, no, right? And so, but I'm still thinking forward. I'm not pumping the brakes. I'm thinking, you know what? It's fine. I'm okay. It'll work itself out.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It'll work itself out. So, I'm convincing myself it's fine, right? So it's fine. Go to the gym anyway. Get on the bike, same routine, 10 minutes, light stretching, and then I hit the pool, right?
Yes.
And it's a ladder day, meaning that I'm
you're going back and forth.
I'm gonna do 4 strokes and take a breath, 8 strokes, take a breath, 12, and then whatnot, and then work my way down. So to expand lung capacity, right? I get to the beginning of my 3rd lap, and I said no more.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because you have to kick here from the hips.
Yes.
It's not here from your knees,
right?
right? So
but
I
it's
aggravated
already,
even
it's
more,
flared.
right? Yeah, so it's already aggravated, right? I get out of the water, and adrenaline's running, but it just doesn't feel right. I get home, I could barely get out of the car.
Oh my!
Because I sat in that position, right?
You
could barely get out of the car. Now I'm like mad. I'm like, oh my God, not now. This can't be happening.
Ooh, it really seized up on you.
It hurt. It hurt, and I was pissed.
So for how long?
Call my chiropractor. I could see you Friday at 12:45. What, are you kidding me? That's like 2 days away.
Oh
wow. No. So the next morning at 6 a.m., saw him, got worked on. I went from about a level 8 pain down to about a 4, which was better.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
That happened on Thursday. Friday. I was at about a 3. Over the weekend, still about a 2. It's still there, And then today, I feel pretty darn good, so I'm gonna start over again.
Okay.
Right, but
you're not gonna give it any more rest, huh?
It's one of those things where you have to start re-stimulating the muscle tissue again.
Okay.
And on top of that, this Saturday, I am going to be a pacer for my good friend Karen Briley, badass triathlete athlete. She's doing the American River 50-mile trail run event.
Woo!
50 miles.
50 miles.
And she asked me to pace her last 9 miles, meaning that I'm meeting her at that 41st mile.
Okay.
And we're running that last 9 miles together.
Okay.
Right? Awesome. Right? Great. When I got hurt, when I aggravated my hip, it was the first thing I thought of.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God, because I had it all set out.
Yes.
Right? Saturday was a long swim day. Sunday I was going to run, 9, 10 miles, on flat ground, not a trail.
Okay.
Right? And then Monday, swim again. Wednesday, run again. Saturday, totally cool. 9 miles there. Losing that 4-day period, that 3 or 4 day period, kind of, did it set it back? I don't know. Maybe it's just all in my head.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was a setback because I think it was a setback for what you had planned in your plans. Right. But the fact that you listened to your body and said, let me stop. Didn't have a choice. Let me pump the brakes. Right, but that's your body saying.
I should have listened before.
And that's your body saying, hey, pump the brakes right now for me because I really, need to take that.
Right.
So, and you listened to it, because anybody else, if they're really going to be kind of ignoring their body, they wouldn't have called their chiropractor.
Yeah, it was like, I can't be on the sidelines long,
Yeah.
So then again, that's another reason why it's important to challenge your fitness. And challenge your fitness means whatever your workout program is of your choice, and if you're doing it repetitively and continuously, kudos to you. However, it's a controlled environment. Your body knows what's going to happen because you do it all the time, right?
That's true.
It's safe. It's probably at your home or in front of your TV or YouTube or in the gym with a trainer, whatever. Even in CrossFit, you're in a gym. It's very controlled.
Yes.
Challenge your fitness by going out into the elements. The best thing to do is go into an organized event, whether it's a 5K. If you're a couch to John, how you doing? If you're a couch to 5K person, meet yourself at that level. If you're already running, 5 to 10Ks consistently, train for your first half marathon, and so on and so on. If you could do marathons ad nauseum, train for a triathlon.
If that's what you guys like to do,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If you're a person who likes to walk and can power walk for an hour, start practicing to hike, elevation, right? Whatever it may be, get out in nature. Get out into the elements.
Because it does more for your body than...
because you have to adapt.
Not only that, are you adapting, you're utilizing, versus like walking and running on a treadmill, you're going to utilize different muscles, and your mind and your body's equilibrium and everything that goes with that is changed when you're in the real elements.
Absolutely.
When you're actually doing it in a normal, natural state.
It's a lot more fun, too.
So much
It's a lot more fun because you have the energy of other people around you, right? You have the energy of other people. Your competitive nature takes over. And whatever the result is of that event, whether it's a 5K, 10K triathlon, a hike up a mountain, whatever the case may be, after you're done, you're going to understand what your recovery period is. It's going to tell you how long you're recovering, where you're hurting, where do you go back on the drawing board with your strength training, what kind of nutrition or supplementation are you lacking, so that the next time you go out to challenge your fitness again, and you should do it at least 3 or 4 times, in a year, maybe even upwards to 6, depending on how active you want to be, you improve better and better and better, and you improve the tolerance level of your body, thus making you stronger.
And you're,
correct me if I'm wrong,
pushing yourself to being a healthier person.
Yeah. Yay, you, right?
At whatever
Susan
age you are.
Bolt-Smith,
at whatever age you are.
Right. So there's a Susan Bolt-Smith. Classic example, right?
Okay.
Susan, if you don't mind me saying, I won't say your age or anything, but this person has been
Shout out,
competed.
Susan.
She competed in Fitness America competitions a long time ago.
Okay.
Right? You can go on her Facebook page right now, and she looks just about exactly the same as she did back then. We're talking 15, 20 years later.
Yes, okay.
She's awesome, right? And she's really also an incredible, nutritionist and whatnot. And
nice.
Yeah, so look for her. She's awesome. But
anyway,
she's a shining example of making sure that you take care of your body because you're only given one, right?
Yes.
Right? She's a great fitness professional. She's competed a long time ago. And I just
mind
love
if I
people
shout
who
you
are...
out over here?
Yeah, Susan Bold-Smith.
Okay,
She's
cool.
awesome. Right? She's helped many of my clients with their nutritional needs and perspectives. So,
is it Goldsmith?
Bold.
Bold, B-O-L-D.
Susan Bold-Smith, B-O-L-D.
Is it one word, Boldsmith?
No, two words. Susan Bold, B-O-L-D.
Well, it doesn't pop up. It's not populating, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it in.
Anyway, Susan, much love to you. Hope Jordan's doing well. Hope you guys had a nice Thanksgiving. Did I almost just say Thanksgiving? Nice Easter. But John Sy, he's another one of my really, really great connections here. He's a former and current client and great friend. Just got married. And
congratulations.
I worked with him for quite a while. Got great results. Stays in shape.
Love you too, Monique.
So anyway, there you go.
Yeah, well, we've really enjoyed the time with you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed the time with us. We're going to go ahead and get going. You guys have had a nice, good hour with us. And if there's anything that you guys have that's on your mind and that you would like to talk about, just being fit, love, strong, and or, just being...
Super Renee.
Being RawNe and staying in your rawness. You guys, be true to yourselves and everything that you guys are doing. And when you have a chance... When you're feeling something that's out of the ordinary in your body, in your mind, in your soul, take the time to take that bird's eye view and step back to assess yourself on any one of those levels at any given time.
Absolutely. How would you feel about these fine people messaging you with any topics they want to talk about?
Anytime. I totally
All right.
recommend it. I have
Absolutely.
asking you guys, I've even been asking viewers on our side to please, if you have any topics that
Sure.
you want to go ahead and bring in, let us know. But they do like the topic today. They are saying great topic.
Thank you.
We're definitely hitting the nail on the head with a few things.
Absolutely.
And they
Hey,
are
Thomas, how you doing, brother?
enjoying the messages and the information and the conversation that we're bringing.
Absolutely. My company is Fit Love Strong, FITLUVSTRONG. You can look me up on Instagram, and also I have my own video podcast with my awesome co-host Lourdes Campos, and we will be doing that starting next week, picking it back up. We took a hiatus for the holidays, kind of a long holiday.
Well,
but we'll be back on.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'd love to have you join us, and thank you for being with us today.
Yes, thank you so much for being with us today. I hope you guys have had a great day, and hope you guys have a happy Monday, and that you go through the week with gusto. And we will see you guys probably next month with more information.
Maybe sooner.
Yeah,
Depends.
maybe sooner. It depends.
She was nice
see
to
how
me
it
today,
goes.
so I'll come back.
But you guys have a great day.
All right. Thanks,
right.
guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Here at KXVS, broadcasting from Stone Tube Studios, is the voice of Stockton.